Hi guys, welcome to another For Your Information video. Today we're going to be going over the specialists, and there are not a ton of those. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 11. And I actually own most of them, which is kind of funny. Except for this guy who I want to play more of. So basically specialists, as we can see here, are rule breakers and masters of unconventional warfare. Typically that means they are really good at split pushing. Abathur is one of those who's very hard to play. I think he's classified, yeah, very hard, because he doesn't go actually in the lane and do any, well, he can, but he's super squishy and doesn't actually team fight himself. He's much more of a general, very much a RTS kind of character. Cool and a lot of fun, but really hard to fit into a traditional team. Asmund, on the other hand, is kind of a little bit of both hero. Can kind of split push, has a trait that allows him to do so, but kind of has some good synergy in a team fight. Gazlo is very similar to Asmodan in that, and Abathur, in that he can split push, but he also is really good at setting up turrets and doing a lot of very fixed point based warfare. Can be fun to play, but really has a problem that most split pushers have is being able to escape. Now, the weird one here is Medivh. Technically kind of like a support because he does have the ability to mitigate damage, and has the damage kind of an assassin if you talent him right, and has ability to have a lot of vision, is unhittable when he's mounted, and has the ability to do portals. So kind of a unique hero, so to speak, but not highly popular. I think he's very cool, and I can't wait to try him. But yeah, he takes a lot to master. We got Murky. Again, split pusher. The difference is if he dies, not really that big of a deal. You're able to kind of lay his egg in any spot and respawn at that egg. Really interesting hero. And there's not very many, so I'm kind of going over them quickly. And then Nazebo, also kind of split pusher specialist, much more like the Medivh though, in that he does pretty good damage and can escape. Sergeant Hammer, just known for whacking you with basic attacks. That's kind of what she does. Sylvanas is one of the most broken traits in the game in that she can disable minions, mercenaries, and structures. Lost Vikings, XP galore because you have to control each of them individually. Zool, same kind of split push, little less damage, okay in team fights, but his Bone Prison's still pretty powerful. And then we have Zagara, of course, who, same thing, really good split pusher, can go for 2 different ultimates based on whether she wants to team fight or split push. These are all, as you've seen, is kind of a theme in that most of them are focused around split pushing, getting XP. These are really good in that they can kind of fit on a lot of team comps if you do it right. In that Zagara, Zool, Asmodan, Gazlo to an extent, and Sylvanas all have the ability to really fit on a team. Murky, not so much. Definitely not the Lost Vikings. Nazebo's kind of in a weird spot, but has some ability to really do some good work. Medivh should only be played by really experienced players. And Gazlo's just in a very odd place right now, and typically the people who play him ignore the rest of their team, when he really can do some very solid team fighting. So you should be really careful when you play these type of characters, especially like who I'll be showing, a Nazebo, in that you don't have the ability really to run, but you have the ability to do some work in the team fight. Your structure damage is actually pretty darn good. So these are the hardest ones to kind of quantify on what team you should play on. Like an Abathur is really good on a huge map and a team that can benefit from him not being there, like can sustain and do some things. Asmodan, because of his long range poke, he's really good on maps where you have to channel, like a Curse Hollow, Warhead Junction, things like that, while still getting XP in a different lane with his general. Gazlo's great on Braxis Holdout, Sky Temple, and Dragonshire because he's of his turrets, especially if you build for that. Medivh is so hard to pick a team comp for. Technically, he can fit on any team, but if your team doesn't coordinate around him, he's really going to be basically useless. So understanding that specialists are going to be so unique and so hard to plan around, these are ones you typically avoid in Hero League, even though like a Sergeant Hammer, if done right, especially coupled with Li Ming, is so good because you punish them so hard if they can't get to you. Sylvanas on like a Haunted Mines, and or at least the rework one, not the one she actually broke, can be super, super good and allow you to have a lot of pushing power. So like the Immortals, Infernal Shrines, anything that requires you to summon something that she can then allow to do more damage to structures is really, really good. I would suggest, unless you are a supremely good player and really good at multitasking, don't pick up the Lost Vikings. Zul's really only good on Tomb of the Spider Queen and Blackheart's Bay, which is it's okay. I think if they've nerfed him a little too hard. Zagara with Nidus Network can really be helpful on any map. So kind of pick and choose. If I were to jump in as a new player, I'd pick like Gazlo, Asmodan, Nazebo, Murky, and kind of go from there. Not necessarily Zagara. She is still really good, but her really lack of mobility is tough. Still super fun to play. These are ones that, as you get better at the game, I would suggest trying out more, because they're going to allow you to do some things. Like Asmodan's fun in that you can just kind of... You can get the most XP on the team really, really easily without much effort. Now I will talk about Varian now, because he is a multi-class hero. Really, it boils down to you can build him as an assassin or tank, or kind of a one-shotter with his other ultimate. He's classified as medium difficulty, which is accurate. If you go tank, he's super easy to play. If you go his one-shot build, he's a little harder to play. If you go with his twin blades, he's a pretty good assassin. Actually, has some pretty good stickiness. He kind of fits on a lot of team comps just because of the multi-class nature, but you need to understand the character and how the different roles work to be able to utilize him effectively. With the specialists, like I said, most team comps these guys don't work on. You'll see them a little bit more in competitive play depending on the map, especially Sylvanas and Medivh. The rest of these, not so much. Hammer, because she has to sit still, has really fallen off and isn't seeing nearly as much play. Like, basically no one on this map sees a lot of play. Abathur's kind of a niche pick. I really enjoy playing him, but he's just not good overall. That's really a specialist. It's not as fun to talk about them as the others, just because it's so subjective on when you should use them. I will be doing a Nazebo video. This video is going up a little bit late, so at the same time I'll put up Lily, and then I'll try to get a Nazebo video put out, and that'll be under a new playlist as well, called the 7 Heroes Every Heroes player should own, because that's my personal opinion in terms of it's a good variety. But that's it really for specialists. It's hard to, like I said, to talk about them, just because, like as a great, for instance, they only really show up on one map, Garden Terror, and that's it. Where at Junction's not bad in that they can get multiple nukes and fire them independently, but that's really hard. And Sylvanas is a little hard to play, and she's the one who's going to see the most play besides like a Zagara. So take all of these guys with a huge grain of salt, especially him. Don't touch him for a while until you've gotten really, really good at this game, because he will be very frustrating for you in quick match if you don't understand how he works. So that's it for Specialist. I am Doomsday. Peace out. Sorry this wasn't as entertaining as the others. Not really trying to rush it, just not as much to talk about with these guys. If you enjoy split pushing, though, give Asmodan, Gazlo, Zagara, Nazebo, Murky all a shot. See what you think. Let me know in the comments if you've played any of them and what your thoughts are. Have a good night, guys.